Here with us at 5 o'clock, tracking some weather moving in right now.
Yeah, an active start to our week, but it's not going to last all day, but you'll definitely want to stay weather aware this morning. Couple of strong storms not out of the question as this cold front moves through. We do have a low severe threat, so I wanted to give you an early heads up. The timing on this from about 6 a.m., of course, for our Nature Coast counties. And as this line of storms moves through, it'll be until about 1 p.m. But there are some hazards you should know about. A low to moderate threat for a brief tornado, not out of the question. Very low flooding threat. These storms aren't going to last very long. But the main hazard I'll be watching for, some gusty winds in that 40 to 60 mile per hour range in some of the strongest storms that we'll have moving through. Very, very low chance for some small hail. This is what we got going on right now. Everywhere dry at the moment, but the line of storms really taking shape now just off the Nature Coast. You can see some lightning embedded within it, and it's going to arrive to the Citrus Hernando County coastline there within the next hour or so. Then this whole line passes down to the southeast throughout the day. And we'll be dry by about noon, 1 o'clock. Everyone will be dry at that point, but it stays windy, and then some cooler air will be arriving. This morning, though, as you step out the door, you'll notice how kind of warm and muggy it is. It's breezy. We're in the low 70s at this time. But when it's all said and done, everyone will end up having a pretty good coverage of rain. But again, it won't last very long. So we'll take a look at those temperatures as we go through the day today. We'll be in the low 70s, dropping this afternoon. Mid-50s tonight, low 70s again tomorrow. So not much colder, but certainly some cooler air on the way. Deanne.
All right, thanks, Amanda. We'll see Deanne in just a minute. Still ahead this morning and developing this morning. Tampa Bay Rays owner Stu Sternberg is reportedly being pushed to sell the team as he considers backing out of the St. Petersburg Stadium deal. According to a report by The Athletic, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred and some other owners are putting pressure on Sternberg to sell. Meanwhile, a Tampa-based group is interested in buying the Rays and moving forward with the stadium deal on the table. The Rays began expressing concerns about the deal over cost. Now, coming up in our next half hour, a live report on this developing story.
Well, developing now, Amanda, Pasco County is facing
15 cancellations and 8 delays at Tampa International Airport. Most of the cancellations are Silver Airways flights to Fort Lauderdale, Tallahassee, and Pensacola. We'll keep you updated if the situation gets worse throughout the morning.
All this weekend on your side, taking a look at our beach towns, still recovering from last year's hurricanes as spring break gets underway.
Now, tens of thousands are expected to visit, which could help businesses trying to rebuild. 8 on your side's Beth Rousseau joining us live in Clearwater this morning with how the city is preparing. Good morning, Beth.
Hey, good morning. And when we were exploring and taking a closer look at the recovery efforts in these communities, Clearwater Beach was one of the best that we saw. But even here, you're going to see construction. Some parking lots haven't reopened. Pier is not reopened. We actually talked to business owners, and they say when they first saw the damage in this area, they weren't sure they were going to be able to get things back up and running by spring break.
You know, we've never seen anything like it before in our lives. It's not done yet, but it's getting there. And, you know, they're making progress every day, and that's all we can ask for.
So the owners of Palm Pavilion say they were shocked when they returned to see the streets filled with sand. Debris covered the beaches from the hurricane, and their business, the floors had been ripped up. Now, like most other businesses throughout the popular area, they had to have the entire place start over. They had to get it gutted. Mayor Bruce Rector says visitors who are heading this way will notice some differences this year for spring break due to the recovery efforts. Some of the parking lots, like I mentioned, they're still torn up under construction. The pier is closed, like I mentioned. Now, a lot of the hotels here have reopened, but he says if you're trying to find a short-term rental, that's going to be a struggle.
The Airbnb market, the short-term rental market, that's still taking some time to recover because a lot of those were one-story dwellings that were really hard hit, and it's going to be a while for that short-term rental market to come back.
So there are still some things that you're going to notice when you're out here. Again, pier is going to be closed, and because those short-term rentals, you can also expect to see a lot of the damage that are still in the residential areas. A lot of Airbnbs haven't really been recovered yet. So the mayor's asking everyone to avoid the residential areas and neighborhoods here. Also, because the parking is so limited, consider a different means to get over here so you don't have to park your car. We're live in Clearwater Beach this morning. Beth Rousseau, 8 on your side.
All right, Beth, thank you. Today, Polk County school leaders are celebrating the completed expansion of Bella Cita Middle School in Davenport. A ribbon-cutting ceremony is being held for the $30 million expansion. The expansion includes a gymnasium and outdoor track, middle school media center, and more. Work began on the school in May of 2023, and that ceremony begins at 10 o'clock this morning. State lawmakers are proposing the removal of using preferred pronouns at some jobs. The bill, called the Freedom of Conscience in the Workplace Act, would ban any state agencies from requiring employees or contractors to refer to people using preferred pronouns if the pronouns don't match the person's biological sex. It would also ban state agencies from placing any sex options other than male or female in job applications. Activists have geared up to fight this during the legislative session now underway.
It also encourages discrimination in the workplace, and oftentimes that already kind of happens. With the language that they're using in this bill is very specific to, that it's kind of allowed for the discrimination to happen.
One Republican lawmaker north of Orlando says people will still be able to identify with certain gender identities. However, as a condition of employment, training, instruction, or other activity related to gender identity will not be required.
Florida Power and Light volunteers helped clean up Taylor Park in Palmetto over the weekend.
Defender 8, the most accurate weather radar in Florida. Sponsored by ArmorView Window and Door.
Max Defender 8 radar will be very busy as we go through the morning. You should have your umbrella on hand and keep an eye on radar because we'll have a line of storms coming through with our next cold front kind of knocking on our doorstep right now. But those rain chances really going up here in the next couple of hours as this line of storms pass through. Not going to rain all day, but those rain chances will bump up to about a 70% for several hours as this front passes. And then we'll be clearing out by about 1 p.m. Some clouds will linger. But then it stays windy, and those winds will be bringing in some cooler air. This morning, we're actually in the low 70s. We'll be dropping those temperatures as we go into the afternoon. But when it's all said and done, we'll end up with a pretty good coverage of those showers and storms. Not accumulating a lot of rain here because of how fast they'll be moving through, but we'll take what we can get. Out on the water today, small craft advisory in effect with those gusts upwards of 30 knots, so not a great day to take the boat out. It stays breezy tomorrow as well. Out at the beaches, of course, the storms will come through this morning, drier this afternoon, but those clouds will linger. Sunset tonight at 7:36. Let's check out those temperatures today, tomorrow in the low 70s with this cold front making its way through, but a warming trend begins tomorrow. We'll be back in the low 80s by Friday and Saturday. Deanne?
All right, well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Not looking too bad out there on the roads. Here's a hazy kind of look at the Howard Franklin Bridge. No major issues reported. We originally had an accident that FHP was investigating southbound 275 right when you come off the Howard Franklin at that Omerton exit, but all lanes have reopened. Right now, getting across the Howard Franklin, less than a 10-minute ride. We'll take it. Similar situation traveling across the Courtney Campbell and the Gandy Bridge. Here in Hillsborough County, we're not dealing with a lot either. I-4 looks really good. No issues on 275, the Veterans Expressway, Dale Mabry Highway down in South Tampa up to speed. The only place we're seeing cars go a little bit slow, I-75 northbound approaching that State Road 60 exit. It's all because of construction. Live look here at that situation right now where they have a couple of lanes closed. I do expect these lanes to reopen within the next half hour. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Deanne. Well, security scare near Mar-a-Lago, why Air Force fighter jets had to get involved.
And what we're learning about a fiery plane crash in a parking lot in a retirement community. How everyone on board is doing this morning.
And the search for a missing college student who disappeared on a spring break trip to the Dominican Republic.